When I was young, I remember watching a horror movie. This movie made me afraid of dolls, and made me throw all my toys away. The name of the movie, it was Child's Play, but I simply called it Chucky. The story of Chucky starts when a man named Charles Lee Ray is born. Little is known about his early life. However, as a child, he was often neglected and abused by his own father, who was also an alcoholic. This led to Charles acquiring a negative view towards the world. He started hating everything and everyone around him. He became a criminal. At some point, Charles met a man named John. This man was a voodoo doctor. He taught Charles all kinds of magic spells, and in time, Charles learned how to transfer his soul. Charles lived his life as a serial killer, and as a regular civilian. At one point, a friend of him introduced him to a woman named Sarah. Charles became obsessed with Sarah, so he killed her husband. Charles then kidnapped Sarah, who was also pregnant. He wanted her to be his wife. However, she rejected him. As revenge, Charles then stabbed her in the stomach, ending up in wounding her baby. Soon the police arrived. But Charles managed to escape. Ultimately, Charles tried to rob a bank, but he failed. He was then shot. While severely wounded, Charles stumbled upon a toy store. In the toy store he came across a good guy doll. Desperate to survive, Charles used his magic to transfer his soul into the good guy doll. When the cops found Charles, he was presumed to be dead. However, he was not dead. His body was dead, but his soul was alive, and living in a good guy doll. From this point forward, Charles would go by a new name. He would go by the name Chucky. Chucky is bought by a woman named Karen as a birthday gift for her son, Andy. This makes Andy very happy. All he ever wanted was a good guy doll. Everything seems normal, until Chucky mysteriously starts appearing at different places in the house. When Andy's babysitter, Maggie, notices this, it is already too late, as Chucky kills her by hitting her with a hammer. When the detectives arrive to investigate, they suspect Andy. But Andy tells them that Chucky did it. However, no one believes him. As a result, Andy is sent to a psychiatric hospital. While Andy is sent to the hospital, Karen is home alone with Chucky. She soon notices that the doll can move on its own. When she tries to shut it down, Chucky attacks her, but she manages to throw him to the other side of the room. She then calls the detectives, who arrive shortly after. They finally realize that Andy was not lying, and that their lives are all in danger. Meanwhile, Chucky sneaks into the hospital. He wants to transfer his soul into Andy's body. When he finds Andy, Andy is saved by his mother and the detectives. They do what they can to stop Chucky. They burn him, they shoot him, they decapitate him. However, nothing seems to work. Until one of the detectives shoots Chucky through the heart, and finally kills him. 2 years go by, and when the company that makes the good guy dolls hear of what happened, they don't believe it. To prove that Chucky is a normal doll, they decide to rebuild him. At this point of the story, Andy is sent to a foster home, where he lives with his foster parents and his foster sister named Kyle. Chucky starts stalking Andy again, and he soon finds Andy's new home. When he sneaks into the house and tries to transfer his soul into Andy's body, Andy is saved by Kyle, who throws Chucky into the basement. The next day, Andy hears something coming from the basement. When he goes downstairs, Chucky attacks him. Worried by the noise, Andy's foster father also goes to the basement, but Chucky kills him. With her husband dead, Andy's foster mother then sends Andy back to the orphanage. While alone in the house, Andy's foster mother is killed by Chucky. Chucky then forces Kyle to drive him to the orphanage, where they pick up Andy and bring him to a factory. Inside the factory, Chucky tries to transfer his soul into Andy. However, he soon realizes that it's too late for him to transfer his soul. His soul is stuck inside of the doll. Enraged by this, Chucky tries to kill Andy, but is attacked by Kyle. Andy and Kyle work together, and they manage to kill him. 8 years go by, and the company that makes the good guy dolls decide to recycle all the older models. They find Chucky's body and make it into a new one, ending up in Chucky coming back again. At this point of the story, Andy is sent to a military academy. After failing to cope at several foster homes, Chucky mails himself to Andy, but is instead opened by a boy named Tyler. Chucky then decides to target Tyler. While chasing Tyler, Chucky is attacked by Andy. Andy shoots Chucky's left arm off, Andy cuts Chucky's right arm off, and he then throws Chucky into a propelling fan, ending up in Chucky's death. A lot of time goes by, and Chucky's remains are stolen by a woman named Tiffany. Tiffany is the ex-girlfriend of Charles Lee Ray. She stitches Chucky's remains back together, and resurrects him. After Chucky comes back to life, he tells Tiffany that he never loved her, so she locks him up. However, Chucky manages to escape, and kills Tiffany. Chucky then transfers Tiffany's soul into a doll. He then convinces her to help him get new bodies. The amulet they need is at a cemetery, so they decide to go there. At the cemetery, they eventually get the amulet. However, Tiffany then suddenly stabs Chucky, but Chucky stabs her back. Chucky is then shot to death and falls into his own grave. We then see Tiffany give birth to Chucky's baby. His name is Glenn. Glenn uses the amulet to bring Chucky and Tiffany back to life. However, Glenn does not like his parents, so he eventually kills Chucky, while Tiffany manages to transfer her soul into a woman's body. 4 years go by, and someone, presumably Tiffany, revives Chucky. Chucky is then sent in an unmarked package to the house of Sarah, the woman who rejected him, back when he was still a human. Sarah also has a disabled daughter named Nica. The reason Nica is in the wheelchair is because she was stabbed when she was a baby by Charles. That same night, Chucky murders Sarah, and makes it look like a suicide. Chucky's new target is Nica. To help Nica, her sister, and her family come up to the house. However, Chucky kills all of them, only Nica is left. While fighting Chucky, Nica is found by a police officer, who assumes Nica killed everyone, so she gets the blame, and is sent to a psychiatric hospital. Chucky is then sent by Tiffany to Andy, who is at this point of the story, an adult. When Chucky tries to sneak up on Andy, Andy shoots him in the head. While Nica is in the hospital, multiple Chuckys appear. It seems like Chucky has learned a spell to multiply himself. Andy, aware of this, commits himself to the institution. He manages to kill one of the Chuckys. However, another one gets to Nica, and successfully transfers his soul into her body. Chucky, who is now in Nica's body, leaves the hospital and reunites with Tiffany, while Andy is still locked up in the psychiatric hospital. This is the end of Chucky's story. Now if we look at Chucky's behavior, it is clear as day that he is crazy. He did not care about the well-being of those around him, he enjoyed hurting and killing people, he lied a lot, he violated the law, and he showed no guilt or remorse. All of these symptoms point to a severe case of antisocial personality disorder. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you would like to see more.